Hello, I'm Scott Edward Walker, and I'm the founder and CEO of Walker Corporate Law Group, which is a boutique corporate law firm specializing in the representation of entrepreneurs. I've been doing deals as a corporate attorney for over 15 years now, including nearly 8 years at two major law firms in New York City. And what I've seen during that period is certain mistakes made by entrepreneurs over and over again. And what I thought would be helpful is to share with you 5 basic mistakes that I've seen. So mistake number 1 is the failure to diligence the guys on the other side of the table. Whether an entrepreneur is doing a venture capital financing, a partnering agreement with another company or firm, or selling his business to a private equity firm, he's got to figure out who those guys are on the other side of the table, which means determining not only the reputation of the firm or the company with whom he's dealing, assuming it's not a marquee name, but also the particular individuals. Who are these guys? Are they good guys or are they jerks? Can they be trusted? When they say they're going to do something, do they do it? You've got to understand, a lot of these deals, like a venture capital financing, there's an effect of marriage. You're going to be with these guys for a number of years. And so you better figure out who they are. And the first step to take is to get some references and then get on the phone and talk to other CEOs and entrepreneurs and figure out who these guys are. So the second mistake that I've seen is the failure to build a strong transaction team. So every entrepreneur, every successful entrepreneur understands the importance of building a strong team. But he often forgets this rule when it comes to transactions. Now's not the time to get your buddy, the litigator, or whoever drafted your will to start negotiating an acquisition, and I've seen that. Nor is it the time to get your bookkeeper to handle tricky tax issues or accounting issues, and I've seen that too. And I've also seen entrepreneurs try to play lawyer and pull forms off the web and start marking them up. That's not what you want to do. The first thing an entrepreneur wants to do is go out and retain a strong, experienced corporate lawyer. This is the guy who's going to quarterback your transaction, he's going to watch your back, and he's going to help you build out the team. If you're selling your company, he'll help you engage an investment banker. If you have tricky tax issues, he'll help you bring in the tax lawyer. And then the team can sit down and strategize and come up with a game plan. The third mistake that I've seen, and it relates to the second one, is the failure of the entrepreneur to run negotiations through the lawyers. So what do I mean by that? Entrepreneurs should do what they do best, which is to build company and leave the negotiations to the lawyers or to the investment bankers in an M&A context. Entrepreneurs are generally no match for venture capitalists, for private equity guys, or for corporate development guys who do this stuff for a living. And that's what they do. They do deals. So entrepreneurs should stay above the fray and not get involved with the negotiations. And to the extent there's a business issue, they can run it through the lawyers, or you can do an all-hands conference call or just meet in person. The fourth mistake that I've seen, this is a subtle point, but very important, is the failure of the entrepreneur that sort of checked their emotions and remained disciplined. So what happens is the longer the transaction goes on, the more time and money that the entrepreneur has put into this, the more wedded he becomes to the transaction, the more emotionally involved he becomes. It's like sort of buying a house. And the private equity guys, I've been on the other side of the table, I've represented private equity guys, they understand this dynamic. Those guys remain extremely disciplined. If they ever get outside their comfort zone with respect to risk or purchase price, they'll walk no matter how much time and energy they've put into the deal. And finally, another subtle point, this is the fifth mistake, is blinking first. So what happens, I've done hundreds of deals, and generally every deal reaches a point in time where each side is sort of dug in to a position with respect to a particular issue. Whether it's a liquidation preference or evaluation in a venture capital financing, or maybe it's the carve-outs to seller's liability in an M&A deal, each side is sort of dug in with respect to a particular position. And the question becomes, who's going to blink first? And 9 times out of 10, it's the entrepreneur. He's just not experienced in this, and so he ends up blinking. He ends up getting rolled now by the other side, particularly if he said, hey, this is a deal breaker, and then he blinks. So those are five sort of common mistakes that I've seen. I hope this has been helpful. Again, I'm Scott Edward Walker. If you have any comments or questions, just shoot them to me through my blog at walkercorporatelaw.com/blog. Thank you.